everyone, and welcome to the big question with SnG. We have with us Rohan Joshi again.
Hi again.
He never left.
Just
He's held in captive, as you can see.
Just been here.
We're all dressed the same way.
Yeah, we just moved ourselves around.
And
I'm still the same position.
so the conversation, the question for this podcast is: who would you like to have a beer with, and why?
Not you.
Of course, because I don't.
Who dead or alive, right?
Dead or alive,
Dead alive,
fiction,
fiction,
non-fiction.
yeah.
Like you can say Mickey Mouse.
We can, but I mean, there's so many people. So why don't you take who?
First person I want to have a beer with. I want to have beer with Elon Musk.
Hell yeah.
Good.
I am a big admirer of Elon Musk G.
Welcome to Startup India. Stand up India.
मैं Elon Musk जी के साथ बैठ के सिर्फ जानना चाहता हूँ कि कैसे वो PayPal शुरू करके अब मार्स पे लेके जा रहे हैं लोगों को. I just want to ask him, how the fuck did you do that? That he just sits and he reads and then he kills it in an industry he was not a part of fucking 5 years
In an
back.
industry that didn't exist.
हाँ,
Until he
बना है.
decided he wanted it to be an industry.
like seriously बोला है.
Apparently he's now considering something else, right? Like he's changed it
Hyperloop
on his Twitter profile.
Bro,
he was stuck in a
his-
traffic jam for a
Oh,
very
the
long
tunnels.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
now he's
You know, I want bad things to happen to Elon Musk because then there will be a thought that
Amazing.
वो बना देगा कुछ.
No, but
Sir,
his Twitter feed is the greatest science fiction I've ever read. It's beautiful.
He just talks. See,
Yeah.
you know, we're living in a simulation. क्यों? और उसके बाद explanation. अब मैं अच्छा हाँ ये Elon Musk बोल रहा है तो होगा शायद simulation.
And my favorite thing is the fights that he picks. Like अपूर इधर ऐसा ट्रोल्स के साथ भग के साथ कभी लड़ता है. Elon Musk lately openly like Twitter बोलता है. I think now Mark Zuckerberg थोड़ा चूतिया है. क्योंकि he doesn't understand AI. Like literally बस he doesn't understand AI. So leave it.
No, but it's crazy though. Like, how much would you learn by just sitting and talking to him for like half an hour?
So
like
apparently Robert Downey Jr. for Iron
Iron
Man
Man.
had like interacted with him for a few days to like figure out what
and he is that.
What is
he is that.
Yeah,
basically
literally
Tony
that.
Stark, right?
You know, like when you see him speak, also, right? He fumbles for like 80% of his speech. Like the
cocaine addiction.
What are you reading into this?
No, I'm not reading into this, but when he comes on stage and he talks to you about something, you forget all of that, and you're just mesmerized by how the fuck did this guy create that? Like one thing I really like, the power wall, right?
I was just gonna say.
Fucking
Yeah,
like
amazing.
we need it right now.
need
I mean,
And like while he's explaining it, he's like getting excited, he's laughing.
yeah, and
power wall
then
press
did you
conference,
remember
like,
seeing that where they
Yeah, I
showed
remember
like on a scale of the US map how much of the US would you need to allocate so that the entire US
has
does not use
any
this?
Oil,
like-
yeah.
It's
Cool.
like
It's
I mean
nothing.
probably the size of Bombay, a
Yeah.
little bit more. Like, and to think about that, like that's next level, dude.
That is, yeah.
It
he's-
is, I remember that, and I like that exactly what he said when he was doing it. It was like, I have a solution for you guys, and it's not like the solution wasn't around.
and
right?
this is exciting to me. This
Yeah,
is exciting to me.
You know,
on a
one thing
personal
about him I
level,
like the most, that most of all his patents are open. They're all open source. So
Yeah,
any other competitor can just literally
Yeah.
use what he is doing, add another thing on top of it and do it, which I
But
think
तू
is
इतना innovative है कि कोई भैंस
वही तो
सोचेगा
ना,
भी
No,
नहीं
but
तो.
he needs that because he's fighting big lobbies. He's
Yeah.
fighting oil
Yeah,
lobbies.
he needs
yeah,
more.
right.
He
So
needs more
a
public
critical
oversight.
mass of
Yeah,
he needs
people-
more collaboration and more.
And
more
also, like he said, the little swag value also. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm building this thing that will go to Mars and come back.
Yeah.
Patents are open, by the way. Anyone who wants to do, banao. Please banao.
But I love the idea that why does the government have a monopoly on the space program, right? And what he's done is he's
Privatized it.
No, but when you create competition, suddenly improvements happen on a way faster pace, right? Because you're forced to look at the freaking Manhattan Project. Look how fast we did
No,
that.
like weirdly enough, there's this Indian group of people who are trying this moonshot Google Lunar Prize thing, and I was talking to them.
Yeah, this is in Bangalore, na?
Yeah, this is in Bangalore, right?
Yeah.
Team Indus, and they're doing like a sort of lunar launcher and all of that. And they said the same thing about the lander, where they're like, when military is involved in scientific spending and in scientific development, there's the stuff they'll give you. And there's the stuff they won't, because they'll just say this is a defense secret, this is a state secret, this is a this is a that. But in private enterprise, that goes away.
Yeah.
Because everything that you build eventually somebody either figures it out and reverse engineers it, or then it becomes
Also,
an
it's
industry.
commercially
So
responsible.
It's commercially responsible, right?
Can you imagine
So-
Patanjali rockets?
Yeah.
Reverse engineer that shit. That's one thing I don't
Yeah.
mind him reverse engineering. Marie
Not at
Biscuit
all.
और मोनाको मत बना.
हाँ,
लेकिन तू वो
rocket
सब
बना.
कुछ कर सकता है ना, अगर पावर वॉल का पतंजलि पावर
लेकिन वो तेरे को
हाँ,
कुछ ऐसा महाभारत का इधर से शिप बना के
देख, अगर उससे मेरा बिल ₹4 आ रहा है ना तो ठीक है. बनाने दे
हाँ,
उसको.
बना जो
ठीक
And
है,
you know,
कोई
wonder
problem नहीं.
people will somehow magically see this podcast in like 200 years and look at we're just like talking about all the stuff where they're just like, हाँ Mars जाने का भी taxi किधर है? You know, there's that situation.
मैं Uber book कर रहा हूँ. Let me finish this.
like so adorable they were.
You know, just like how we feel when the Lumiere brothers like screened their first shot of the
हाँ,
trailer
सब लोग
because
ऐसा भाग के
they-
गया.
and people started running away from the theaters because they thought the train would
Yeah.
come from the screen and run over them.
Yeah. And for them,
But that was also really smart of them to shoot
उसका
a
ही charm
train.
To shoot a train, first thing.
Killer, killer.
Okay, Kautuk.
I have a person I want to sit with for a,
Just sit with.
no,
Just
for
sit
a
with,
beer,
like,
for a
yeah.
beer.
my
But it's a sort of niche.
I long for any human contact.
Yeah, actually, at this
What
point,
are you,
चलेगा.
Wally or what?
No, so I'd like to sit with this writer called Jack Kerouac. So
right.
he
मेरे को
was
लगा
a-
तू नील गेमन बोलेगा.
हाँ.
नहीं Jack Kerouac because he was a drinker and he was a writer and he's one of the greatest like writers for travel fiction. Like just sit there and just listen to the guy. Like he had
Yeah.
fucking great just like thoughts on things. So he would be. a
What's his name
person.
again?
Jack
Jack
Kerouac.
Kerouac.
Jack Kerouac.
Kerouac.
Guy who wrote On the Road.
Yeah, the guy who wrote
Yeah,
On
the
the
guy who
Road.
wrote On the Road.
So I'd sit with him. Ron?
Why particularly though? I mean, great travel stories and all of that, but why like particularly? I'm just killing time because I don't have an answer yet. I'm just trying to push this back onto you.
We'll come to you last, Rohan, don't
worry.
So Jack Kerouac because so he was an alcoholic. Like so it would be
Sure.
either Jack Kerouac or Ernest Hemingway. Both of them great drinkers, great writers. And like so this guy used to like in general, right? So how his style was like if you read his books, it's very jazzy. Okay, like the sentences are very flowy,
Very free form, very free flowy.
Yeah. And the story about how he got this was that he used to try to write and it used to be miserable.
Right.
Okay, and then he was at a jazz bar in New Orleans drinking, and he was just right before that he had just gone like he was frustrated. He was like, God, just give me style.
Yeah.
Okay, and he goes to this jazz bar and he's drinking whiskey and he's watching the jazz band performing. He's like, fuck, if I can put words to this music, that would make me a writer.
That's
and
intense.
Nice.
Yeah, and then he
That's
wrote
pretty intense.
Yeah, and he wrote On the Road in 3 weeks.
Oh, fuck. That's...
3
That's
weeks.
impressive.
And the way he did that was he knew that he just wanted to just
Free form.
yeah just write okay and not stop. So what he did was he taped 300 feet of paper together and just put that in the typewriter and just kept writing for 3 weeks straight, and that's fucking something. And read that book if you haven't read it. It's a fucking great book.
Damn.
Damn.
That's a powerful story, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a powerful
Thank you for
story.
sharing.
I think it deserves a round of applause. I think a round of applause. Okay. I feel it.
Welcome to the TED Talk with us.
रोहन
Rohan, do you
हो गया
have
अभी
someone
3
or-
मिनट मिल गया.
हाँ 3 मिनट मिल गया ना. अभी मैं सोच रहा हूँ वैसे, लेकिन तू मेरा एक आंसर चुरा लिया गांडू एक तो पहले.
नहीं, चल,
और actually in the same vein as Elon Musk, like one person I would love to sit down and have a chat with is James Cameron.
Nice.
Fuck
Like
yeah.
because he again is one of those people where every time he sees a problem and he goes, this is why there's no solution, he's like, it's cool, I'll
build
invent
it.
the solution
Correct.
and then I'll make my thing. Like when you want to make, it's as simple as you want to make Avatar and he was like, oh, the technology doesn't exist, how long will it take to make the technology X years? तो चलना बनाते हैं,
Yeah,
चलना
that's
बना,
freezing,
पहले
that's
technology
freezing.
बनाते हैं, फिर picture बनाते हैं.
even that the vessel he made to
That's
go down
exactly
to the
what I was coming
Mariana
to. And the
Trench.
thing that blows my mind is that this man who has made the most financially successful movies in the world, he then has the strength to sort of get up and be like, you know what I really want to do? I want to go to the bottom of the ocean. I can see what that's like. और वो भी ना मेरे को 3D में बनाने का. Literally.
crazy.
And he builds a
Insane.
submersible that goes down to depths that have not been visited before, and he does all of that. And
I was watching some documentary where they talk about like the pressure of water.
yeah.
So they
There's-
give you like examples of how much, because we want to understand that
What it is.
figure.
It's 3
So
times
it's like,
Mount
oh, when you
Everest
go
is
here,
on you.
it's like a car is on you. If you go
Yeah,
that
if you
far
go
down, it's
here,
like
you'll
the weight of
basically
3
be crushed.
elephants. The point that he was at is some 1,000 elephants ka weight.
Yeah. Like if there'd been one crack in that this thing, he would have
Yeah.
just been crushed immediately. And to just what is the mind space of somebody who can achieve so much in one field and then still have the strength to wake
And
up the
this is
next day and be
before
like, you know what?
he even made Avatar.
Yeah, this is
before that.
this
So imagine
is-
he's like, मैं technology बना रहा है ये बनाने के लिए और उसके पहले अगर मैं शायद मर जाएगा
Like
लेकिन
it's
मैं वो भी करूँगा.
weird to think that Titanic was a byproduct of him wanting to explore the Titanic itself, right?
yeah.
The
Yeah,
wreckage.
he did this.
He did this,
said
like he
this,
did this, and he did this, and it's and then he makes this movie, and his side project makes like $1.5 billion. And the thing is, it's because look, here's the thing. I don't know about you guys, but if I made $1.5 billion, I would be like, I'm done. It's like all my ambition in life is over.
Go to West Indies. and
Yeah,
play poker.
I'm done. Like now, not even that. I'm now मैं बिल्ली के साथ घर पे बैठेगा, ऐसा joint
बैठा
करेगा
ऐसे।
और मैं डिफेंडर्स देखेगा नेटफ्लिक्स Netflix पे खत्म literally like हो गया मेरा life
1.5 billion के बाद ये
लेकिन ये 1.5 बिलियन के बाद उठ के बोलता है कि अब मैं सबमरीन बनाएगा और अब मैं जाएगा द मोटिवेशन इट मस्ट टेक टू गेट आउट ऑफ बेड लाइक देयर आर टाइम्स ऐसा घर में दूध नहीं है तो मैं दूध नहीं पिएगा दूध नहीं लेके
ये क्या मेरा दूध नहीं
Literally,
पिया
हाँ, like it says something in a world where certain movies that are 5 years old feel dated. Like try going back and watching Lord of the Rings now.
Judgment Day
Judgment Day, even today, it's
happily,
on.
Star
I will
movies.
drop everything
And watch it.
just watch it.
the
It's the
best
sort of thing where in film school you want to
Even
teach
Eraser
classic
him, no?
3-act structure. You can use that film to teach that, and then other times you just want to sit off and jack off to violence porn. You can still watch the same.
But you know what the
Right?
cool thing about
It's-
Judgment Day was? I saw like I rewatched Judgment Day in a bus in Thailand. Okay, this is a long journey. They've played it and they played it on mute. The cool thing about Judgment Day is that you can follow
You
it.
can follow the
you
entire
can follow
film,
it
man.
without
You can
fucking
follow the
dialogue.
entire film. It's outstanding.
sure
So
that's actually true what he just said about Lord of the Rings. No, I can't watch it anymore. I can't. And I was there first day first show kind of guy. Like for the first 3 movies at least. I was watching, but now I just can't.
now you have fire
First
ice
day,
breathing
first show.
dragons
It's been, now I have Game of
first day
Thrones.
first show, dude. When Return of the King came out, Regal Theatre पे they'd done a special marathon where Regal in the morning,
Oh, they
11
played-
o'clock show Fellowship of the Ring, 4 o'clock show Two Towers और 9 p.m. Return of the King का premiere और हम लोग गया. Like ऐसा देखा बैठा full on
9 hours you
हाँ
sat?
9 and a half hours we sat through all the movies.
that's
But
like
now
17 samosas
pretty much.
I'm just thinking what
Pretty
I'm
much. Yeah.
I would love to do Back to the Future just like that. Just a
Hell yeah.
Marathon.
all 3 of them like back to back.
Yeah.
Somebody do it.
Katie, who's your guy?
We went with him.
So for me, 3 people.
Three
I'm
people?
just
Three
gonna
people,
go
that's
with
fine, yeah.
I'm going with 3 people. Aaron Sorkin,
Sure.
Louis C.K. And I want like someone from like a really great like historical figure. So like I'm okay with anybody in like like Darwin or somebody. I want someone
For a
from,
second, I thought you'd say Hitler. I just
No.
No, but you know what? I know what you
Hitler.
mean
Yeah.
because when this question first came up, I was also one of the directions I went into historical figure because there's something about that idea of what was it like to be there? What the like just watching like अच्छा coming back to Game of Thrones वो loot train वाला sequence ऐसा Khal Drogo और सबके साथ देखा. What was it like to be Genghis Khan at the head of a horde like that?
Correct.
100%.
Like what was that like?
Correct. So
what
to me,
was
the fascination of that, like, what was it to be there during, for example, when you invented penicillin, like people are dying of fucking like, just like, like, and you invent penicillin, that the moment of the world at that point, like, or going even all the way further back, like, that
You think these moments will disappoint you? Like
I don't know.
you know what they
with
might. It's
history-
entirely possible.
they might
These
disappoint me
people
now.
and they'll be like.
No, yeah, you go back in time, कोई खास रहा है तो क्रोसिन ले
No, but I want to be at the cusp of like an evolutionary moment.
Which
like,
we are, I think, right now. We are at a
no,
very
I meant
See,
like
it doesn't work like that. Evolution, the word itself means something happens over a long
period of time.
Moments. So you have to be at the moment where that first animal crossed from sea to land.
Land.
That's that first
Yeah,
step.
but then if you ask it to have a beer with you, the rest of the human race will not happen. You can just come, hey bro, beer pina, and then that's it. Evolution ends there.
पूरा उल्टा हो गया
single cell paramecium having a beer with you.
And then slowly you're getting erased while you're
yeah, like oh shit, what's happening? Going through.
So
me.
there's that. Aaron Sorkin for obvious reasons. I mean, I've followed this man.
He's a good dancer.
I
mean, that step.
Correct. So everything he's read, everything he's written, everything he's I've read it. Like I've read everything, even Farnsworth Experiment, like all his books, all his things. I just want to sit with him to discuss just the way he works with dialogue, because he literally makes dialogue sound like music. He's not a very visual writer. He's not. In fact, he's not at all a visual writer.
He's not at all.
He's a very dialogue heavy, scene
Character,
structure, character driven writer, and so that would be very interesting. CK obviously, because I mean, how much of his life is that's on stage is hyperbole. So how much is actually. So there is obviously truth in a lot of the stuff that he does, but how much of it is embellished and how much of it is hyperbole? So is he really that guy who stands sits? I'm quoting Oh My God, where he sits in the courtyard with a Sunday stains on his shirt, looking at the guard waiting for him to come and talk to him and say you're not supposed to be sitting here. Is that how much of that story is, for example,
True.
embellished?
Yeah. More than I would do Chappelle and Jon Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Dave Chappelle and Jon Stewart.
Stewart,
Would
That's
be
a tough thing,
interesting,
because so many
It's-
people, right? Jon Stewart
Yeah.
is amazing. John, like that. Even now, he's doing. By the way, he's doing a special.
Yeah,
on
it's
HBO.
Jon Stewart.
Yeah, Jon Stewart.
That's
is doing
got
special.
cancelled, man. That
Oh, why?
HBO project of his got cancelled.
No,
apparently.
you're talking about the animation.
Yeah, the
No, I'm
animation
talking
thing.
about a
Oh, he's doing a
stand-up
special.
stand-up
Nice.
special. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. There's one more gentleman, and his name is Stephen Fry.
Fair enough.
Stephen
Stephen
Fry.
Fry.
Because I
Sahi
think
hai.
Stephen Fry
Stephen
is the guy he would know everything about history.
Yeah.
He would know everything about evolution.
That was my alternate answer was going to be Stephen Fry and Douglas Adams together.
Get together. Oh my god.
Stephen
that's
Fry
amazing.
and Douglas
Nice.
Adams together
That would
would be because they were great friends.
Yeah.
They were great friends, and just to sit, they're essentially like futurists, right? They're always thinking. So to just sit there and talk to the two of them.
Did you
No. So man, there's so many great names. I mean, Douglas Adams. George Carlin comes to my mind. I love. Like, imagine just sitting and listening to the guy go at it, just rant about whatever. Like,
imagine if
Yeah.
he's in your house and like
Yeah.
day to day he's just like narrating the events
Yeah.
of
Of
the
your
day.
day.
like our country is so fucked up, right? And we are trying somewhat to do commentary on it, but we are so far behind because of censorship, and we have not evolved as much.
Also ability.
Ability. That's what I'm saying. We're not evolved as they've had generations of comedy. We are just starting out.
in
So-
English, to be clear.
No, I'm talking about like mass critique in a way that's like it's consumed.
Social
in
commentary
in-
comedy.
Yeah,
Sure.
like in America right now, right? So George Carlin, imagine him dissecting this culture, our culture. That would be insane. But I think my dream beer would be with the team, would be with the Monty Python team.
Oh man.
I would love to sit at a bar and just in their element, because when I first saw Holy Grail and I heard the coconuts. So I'm just sitting there, I'm like, okay, what is happening behind the scenes? Like, they must be having the time of their lives. They come up with this shit. Okay, we don't have money. Fuck it, just bend the
just
coconuts and make a joke out of it.
That weirdly enough is also that scene was the point in my life where I ingrained the idea that never underestimate the power of stupidity. To solve things.
Yeah.
Never underestimate
Dude,
the power
Ministry
of
of Silly
stupidity
Walks.
to.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Like,
what is
yeah.
that?
Ministry of
Just-
Silly Walks. You know that whole thing where they have a race for deaf people.
Oh my god.
Right? Like little thing.
They had a sketch which was about the marathon for people with incontinence. So they leave the starting line and they go into a building to take a dump.
You know what? I used to love the animation, the little cutout animation.
Yeah.
The trumpets would go on the bum, and like a movie like Life of Brian, right? Like I just dream of a day where India.
That's great.
Somebody can
Somebody
attempt
can do that.
something like that. That is such a. There's a guy called Brian who's born like 3 rows down.
Yeah.
Golmaal.
Another guy I want to have a beer with is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh god, yeah.
No,
Except that I feel like
I
he
see a
spent the whole
trend.
thing telling you why that
You're a
beer
joke.
is not actually
and
beer.
I will listen to
actually
it,
a
and I
carbon.
will
Yeah.
also like fall
Sure.
asleep. There was a time
Yeah.
when I was watching an episode of Cosmos every night, and I was falling asleep to
his
that, because
droning.
there's
By the way,
something about
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Cosmos,
He's droning.
I saw Cosmos because of this guy. Random conversation somewhere. He's
Dude,
like,
it's
you have
one
to,
of the
he,
best
I'm
fucking shows.
Cosmos evangelist.
yeah, he just came to me. He's like, you should watch Cosmos. And I was like, what is Cosmos?
Dude, not just that, but if you watch, I like Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I like fucking Carl Sagan even
Oh,
more.
dude.
Yeah,
You
Carl
watch the
Sagan, yeah.
1975.
No, but
Yeah.
I feel like
And you know
it's
who
dated.
else is great? Professor Brian Cox.
Brian
Have you
Cox?
watched any of
No,
his
no,
stuff?
no.
He's the British guy.
Okay.
He's a British astrophysicist. And he's got
There's
this show
also-
called Wonders of the Universe and Wonders
He's
of
the
the
guy
Solar
with the
System.
bow tie award.
No, that's Bill Nye.
That's Bill Nye.
That's Bill Nye.
So
Isn't it awesome that there's that many rockstar scientists that you can actually have an argument
Yes,
about it?
yeah.
That's kind of cool, right?
Astrophysicist, okay, has become like, it's not a geek thing to do.
No.
There, you have cool, this guy, Michio Kaku.
Michio
He's another
Kaku.
Yeah.
Japanese
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
He's also fucking super.
Sam
man.
Harris is another guy.
Sam Harris. Okay,
Sam Harris, yeah.
Sam Harris, I don't know.
Sam Harris, and he
And
argues a lot for
more than
rationality.
anything, their worldview is so great that I don't need to like just hear them talk about astrology and
Yeah,
science.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they could be talking about like normal stuff.
Bro, you know another guy, Christopher Hitchens.
Actually,
I
that
wanna
was so
sit
Hitchens.
with
I was
Hitchens,
gonna
dude.
think my
Yeah.
debate with Hitchens or the Monty Python team, because Hitchens, man, I would love to argue like that guy. You know,
Yeah.
like how you don't lose your cool. You.
But you're still savage.
You
You're
own
savage.
that.
But
You're
okay,
savage.
I mean,
You're
it's like
savagery.
you have the language at your disposal
Yeah, to do
like
it.
intelligence and
There's a phrase for your type of savagery. It's called a hitch
Hitch
slap.
slap.
Yeah.
Like that is. I mean that's
really cool.
Because sometimes like late at night I do on YouTube I'm watching him argue.
Yeah.
And it's because
I do the same thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson, just talking about whatever.
Yeah, just whatever.
But
right?
so much to
Neil deGrasse Tyson has a very different style.
His spectrum of like just the arguments he's presented on so many different things, like from morality to science to literature.
You can't
to
come back.
everything.
Once he owns you, there's no coming back. He has
Crazy.
taken your points, irrefuted them with facts, and then made a point on top of that. There's no coming back.
Like उसका school debate team क्या होगा ना?
वो अकेले था उसमें.
Killing.
Sorry, standard से वो चारों अकेले गया. वो चारों player. And now we have Christopher. We have Chris.
It's just hitching, and every debate just ended with not thank you, but is that all you got? That's how it went. Like, yeah, is that all you got?
That's it.
But from your Cosmos thing, sidebar, two other people I would love to have a beer with. Cosmos episode 3, Isaac Newton and Edmund Halley.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I love that episode.
That episode, it's like if I need a good cry, that's the episode that I watch.
for sure.
Like,
No, and just
more than
imagine-
any movie
It's
I've watched in the last
comforting.
10 years,
There's
I
a-
just weep at the
there's
end
a
of the
Even when I
episode.
watch it again now, I will always watch that episode.
Always,
That's
always
the
say that's
first
the lead.
episode
The
of Cosmos
third
I have to
episode is
watch.
always the first episode.
Because
I
there's
leave
just so many great people living together and
and it's
interacting.
such a beautiful
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
story
like that.
it feels like it that the greatest discoveries in science could not have happened because some dude's ego was torn down by another guy who was petty.
Correct.
And this is real life. This is not movie. This is not Balaji ko ye coincidence se hua. nahi.
Yeah.
This happened. Like the greatest scientific discoveries of our time is because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we've done a good job as a civilization of uniting minds, right? Universities like that become like when someone who has studied abroad. Any of you guys studied abroad? You have.
course, 8
You have.
Show off.
No, have you? no. I asked for a reason because one thing about universities abroad, and I have no knowledge of universities here, but there are departments where they do the research. You know, the PhDs. I mean, it is intense. Their lives are dedicated to making this breakthrough, whether it's a protein in the cancer research or whatever.
One of my friends, his name is Karan Jani. He was actually a member of the LIGO team that confirmed Einstein's gravitational wave theory in 2015.
Which where was this? Which
Huh?
which
This is I'm not even gonna try to tell you what his this thing is because if you go to his page, it's got like every great university name in there, and he's done a program or something or the other with them, and he works with LIGO, and he was part of the team that confirmed the gravitational wave thing. And I was talking to him, and one of the things he said is that it's what you're saying, that research and PhD, we have no value for fundamental sciences.
Yeah.
We only have this great value on technical education in this country. Become an engineer, become a coder, become a this.
Right.
But we have no value because fundamental science is not something that will have a financial insight. You've got to be
Correct. It always has to
philosophically
be-
attracted to
Yeah,
it.
for
You're
sure.
never philosophically
We have
attracted to
to-
engineering. You're philosophically attracted
to physics, to
just
the basic, like,
concepts that are
of
going in there. And
attraction,
you're like,
yeah.
I want to just pull the universe apart and apart and apart, apart and apart until
Go
there's
down
no
to
more
like
to
a
left.
fucking
Yeah, no,
neutron level.
I
And
with
he's
you.
like that, and he's like if you notice the cultures that are stronger in fundamental sciences that are the progressive ones,
inventive
not just
conversations.
about engineering. You've got to be strong in fundamental sciences.
I think there's an example. I think exactly what you said happened to me when my first year, my first class, Calculus 100, the first basic class. The professor explained to us why the derivative of x squared is equal to 2x.
The why is important.
And exactly, and you'll not believe this. A girl from Pakistan put her hand up and she's like, why are you showing us this? We know the answer. What he was trying to show us is that one is a tangent of the other. And what that means in real life.
Yeah, exactly,
And-
right?
And I've gone through 11th and 12th HSC. I've just done this 2 years intense calculus. I got like 82. So I was not that bad at
Yeah,
math.
but you weren't taught a single concept.
Not at all.
You were
I
just
was-
taught the
I-
absolutes of
No,
it.
I
That's
had
it.
run
Dude,
No,
you
I
were
was
given
ready.
answer saying ये board exam में आने वाला है. हमने fuck रटले
Yeah,
रटले.
but
But
that's
what
also-
actual
it
thing
goes
happened
to-
in my 10th standard, man, where one of the they didn't even used to bother to change the
Same,
numbers
same,
from the
same,
textbook.
same,
There
yeah.
was a point where I had revised one
8
problem
marks.
so many times that I remembered
Yeah.
the answer.
Because you
wrote it down
like
and then worked
pictographic memory
backwards.
almost. Like I
Yeah,
remember there
literally
being
by
a
that
2
point, it's
years.
just my hand knows that once I write this, the next step.
Yeah,
is
it's
that.
muscle memory. It's almost
my hand. It's all muscle memory.
Intuitively,
Muscle memory.
if you miss a step, you're like, ये गलत है.
No, like to Rohan's point, here the technical implication has to be इसका क्या करोगे तुम, which is why even arts are not really
Yeah.
supported here, right?
Yeah.
Like even if you look at anything to dancer banega or whatever, like you know, like if you want to pursue professional dancing, try telling your what happened when you said you want to do comedy at your
He
house.
hasn't told them. Parents
Right now, working in Deutsche Bank.
Yeah, you're an underwriter at Deutsche Bank. Okay. No, the thing about there's a Facebook page called Science Page or something like that. Yeah, it's very fundamental
Wow.
to that.
That's cryptic.
They sort of explained Einstein's theory of how if you went faster than the speed of light,
go back in time.
you
Forward
would
in
A,
time.
go back in time, or when you go to space, why do you actually become younger? Like when you return, why do you become younger?
You're basically 2 seconds younger, right, when you come back, or like
Or-
you've
or
slower,
X,
less
yeah,
than
yeah.
what
So,
everybody
and
else did, or something.
He said because time as a concept, and he's explained it. So you know how they've explained it. I'm not going to take you through the whole thing. It's just they've made one guy stand with a torch. Not even a torch, like a PlayStation controller, the handheld controller with a bulb on top. and he's just supposed to do this, right? And then
That must have been tough.
and
surprised he didn't go
then
horizontal.
and then they move him on a chair like that, and then they darken the room. And so when the audience is looking at this guy do this, the ball is traveling like that, obviously, right? Because he's moving up and down also like that. But when the way he's looking at it is just this movement, because he's not seeing the movement that he's on. So that relative, that's how it is relative.
I think you have to watch this video. To
It
make
is-
sense.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting what you're saying.
It is-
What is it called again?
Science page or something similar. I'll send you the
No,
link.
it can't be science based.
I swear it's called
Yeah.
science page, dude.
Another note to that is another great YouTube channel is this Krisha Shok on Twitter recommended to me. Is this channel called Engineer Guy.
Oh, there's engineer, but there
Engineer
are several.
guy.
Smarter
There's
every day I
Veritasium.
watch.
Smarter
This
Every
guy
Day is great.
superb.
Engineer
There's-
Guy just takes the simplest things from your life and takes you through how they're made. Like he has this 11-minute amazing video.
Also called History Channel.
On just
Would
yeah.
you would you have a beer
Way
with him?
better.
Would you have a
What?
beer with him?
I would totally have a beer with him. Because he would explain where that beer came from. So he has an 11-minute video just explaining how your traditional soft drink can today, how it's made, and why it's made the way it's made. Like
yeah.
how the little
Meaning
things
why
you
is
don't
the
notice
niche
on
ka
it.
thoda upar?
Why is it
Yeah,
niche ka
yeah.
thoda upar? Why instead of the can just
niche ka
stopping instead of a bit of a
thoda
curve?
Why do
this
they have
way?
pesticide in it?
Yeah, just why, yeah, all of that. Yeah.
No,
all of that.
Engineer
But
guy.
that's
Engineer
really
guy.
that's really what's interesting. No, Veritasium, all of these
Yeah.
these channels,
Vsauce.
yeah, all of these channels, they go down to it. Like now, there's somebody who's doing a cappella science.
God.
Yeah, I saw this. I saw this.
He's
Yeah.
explained the Higgs boson particle through Shape of Me.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, so-
Oh, wow.
And he's explained something
wow.
else through
String theory also he's
String
done.
theory through Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
So
Dude, my nephew was watching an education, and it's so cool. Like these tools, we had no access to. My
I
nephew
wish
was
we had
watching an
YouTube, dude.
Yeah,
It-
yeah.
didn't your
it's
nephew
cool.
design a game or something?
Except
Yeah,
guys,
man.
Except
yeah,
my
his
nephew
nephew
designed
designed a
it.
game.
But these cool educational videos, I check the trending page in the US, and sometimes they pop in the
Yeah.
trending page. You ever click on the India trending page and see a
Mallu auntie's
Sunny
text.
Leon, Sunny Leon,
Yeah.
or dress, skirt,
You know, there's
blouse.
another guy. I think his name is Bill Wurst. He's made this history of everything in 18 minutes.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the Japan
and
thing.
history of
He's-
Japan.
Yeah.
Speaking of history of everything, I think Bill Bryson
Bryson.
would be
Yeah.
a
Great person to talk.
great guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Great
And
guy
if we're
to
sticking
have
with
a beer.
writers, Stephen King is somebody else.
Yeah,
I totally
yeah.
have a beer with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I'd be horrified, but still.
Yeah.
And